Why is the Fed saying this about retirement? I'm stunned by this level of incompetence. It's crazy to me. Anyway, so I posted this thing on various socials right here. I said, I'm growing very tired of having to correct AI and their fraudulent citations. And this is from Claude. And Claude says 64% of Americans over age of 65 derive income from pensions. New report. All right. And then let's see. That's from the National Institute of Retirement Security, according to the Federal Reserve data. All right. And I say, but that doesn't say anything close to that. And I went on to cite a couple things. I said, you're absolutely correct again, and I apologize for another inaccurate citation. I clearly misrepresented what the sources actually said, which is a serious error on my part. And this is the second time I had to correct him. But my man Tom here, who Tom's a crazy man, and I like him. He's always Tom's bored, so he's always want to comment on my misinformation. That's okay. Dude, I don't mind people commenting on misinformation if they bring the data with it. And this time Tom did. So kudos to Tom, man, because I said, all right, let's check this out. And I was like, what the hell? So he showed this thing from the Fed. I'm going to show it to you right quick. Here's from the Fed. I was stunned by this because I was like, huh? But they say right here, sources of income among retirees by age, pension, 64%. This is in 2024. And the interesting thing is from 2023 to 2024, from 2024 to and what they post in 2025, they don't have the same table, which is very odd. But anyway, very interesting to me because it said pension, 64%. I said, that's weird. Whereas overall, 56% sources among retirees. All right. So, which is weird too, because anyway, I retirees who are under the age of 65, the whole thing was just odd to me, but it's okay. And I said, interesting. So let's see what other sources people have. Social Security, including old age and disability income, interest, dividends, and rental income, wages, salary, or self-employment, and cash transfers other than Social Security. So what? We have wages and salary. A quarter of the population, the retirees over 65 are working. Wages, salary, self-employed. 52% have interest, dividends, or rental income. 92% have Social Security. What? You see a big thing that's missing there? There's a big thing that's missing. So I said, let's go research this a little bit more, shall we? And I said, yeah, let's do it. So again, I appreciate Tom bringing the results. Let's see though. And I said, Tom has shown up with a good piece that needs to be examined. Can you find the blindingly obvious problem here though? And no one's responded back to that yet. So anyway, let's check it out. Let's see what we got here. Check this out. Facebook doesn't have the immediate hyperlink, so you actually got to come up here and go like this, which is kind of frustrating. But let's check this out. So we can see the report on economic well-being of U.S. households made 2023 to 2024. Okay, so we go retirement investments, and this is what they're saying right here. Again, that's what Tom just looked, and it's 64% of pensions, right? Probably, among retirees who did not have labor income, those who had pensions or income from interest, dividends, or rents were doing better financially than those who were solely relying on Social Security. Okay. 52% of retirees who did not have private income said they were doing at least okay financially. Anyway, so 78% of the people who did not have labor income were having pension. Interesting. This is where it gets weird. All right. Check this out. Have tax-preferred retirement accounts and pensions. Interesting. Have tax-preferred retirement account or pension. And you can see tax-preferred retirement accounts such as 401k or IRA. 57% of the retirees have that. But up here, they're not showing that. This is their source of income among retirees. They're not showing tax-preferred accounts. Now they are showing defined benefit pensions through an employer. They're saying 51% of retirees here have defined benefit pensions through an employer. But yet up here, they say 64% income sources are from pensions. Huh? And here they say 92% of retirees have tax-preferred retirement accounts, pensions, or other assets listed above. So So you're telling me over age of 65, the only income these people have is from interest, dividends, or rental income, wages, salary, self-employment, cash transfers other than Social Security, a defined benefit pension, or Social Security. Yet down here, you're saying that 57% of the people say they have 401ks or IRAs. And you can make an argument, which would be silly, but you could make the argument, well, just because they have a 401k or IRA doesn't mean they're getting income from it, Josh. And I would make the argument, just because they have a pension doesn't mean they're getting income from it. In fact, what's even weirder is 51% of the people down here have a pension, but 64% of the people are getting income from it. Explain that, Federal Reserve Board. That doesn't make any sense. And then we just have to go back and say, okay, so now we're in 2020, this is in 2023. How many people had actually access to a pension from what's that'd be 30, 40 years ago in 1980s and 1990s? Let's take a look what Boston College says, shall we? This whole thing is just so silly. According to Boston College, is a share of households receiving income from a defined benefit plan, not defined contribution plan, defined benefit plan. All right. And this right here is from the HRS study from 1992 to 2018. And you can see, check this out. So we'll say by year of birth is 1960. We have, what's that, 12.5% of people born in 1960 have income from a defined benefit plan in 2018. So we take our trusty calculator, we say, that'd be only 56 in 2016, so that means they're 66 now. So the people born in 1960, all right, share of households receiving income from a defined benefit plan in 2016 will only be 56. All right, but let's go over here. The people born in 1950 would be right there, about 35% of people born in 1950, and they would be 1950 minus 2016, 1950. They would be 66 years old in 2016, which means they're 76 years old now. And what they're saying is if you were born in 1950, a third of you had income from a pension in 2016, which would assume that if you assuming they all stay alive, a third of them would have income from a pension in 2025. Interesting. But nowhere air at all. And this is households, by the way. Nowhere to hear. And by the way, this Boston College changed this at some point too to say people, not households. But how do you then extrapolate that? These few people born in these years, how do you extrapolate that to say we come over here to the Federal Reserve and we say 78% of people have a pension in retirement? Let's see, right here. 64% of the people, let's see, source of income among retirees. They're not saying households, they're saying retirees. How do you extrapolate this? It's just so freaking dumb. This, from 1950, a third of the people born in 1950 had pension income in 2016. And it got progressively lower and lower and lower. How do you extrapolate that to say 2/3 of the people in 2023 had a pension income who are over the age of 65? It makes no sense. Lastly, how do you say income sources for people over 65? Interest, dividends, and rental income. So if you ask me, Josh, what's your retirement sources from? I'll say Social Security and my 401k, my Roth. Is that an interest? Is that a dividend? Or is it just a distribution which includes principal? This is the exact same thing whether the Center for Population Survey, CPS, on the Census Bureau screwed up in their assessment of retirement income because they say at the end of the day, they didn't ask the question correctly. They didn't say, are you taking distributions from a retirement account? They didn't say that. They're saying, were you taking regular distributions from a retirement account? And if you said no, that meant you had no retirement income from a retirement account. And so they're understating the retirement income significantly. And this is the same thing here too. It's just, the whole thing's just, what the hell are you doing, Fed? Who's in charge of this stuff, man? It's the kind of thing that retiree educators or academics or just people like me, your old buddy. I'm in shower today. All right, so I'm in my t-shirt, I haven't showered, I brushed my chops, my pearly yellows, haven't shaved. This kind of thing that people like retirement planning professionals are freaking using to justify their fear mongering. It's just bad data. It's bad. Census Bureau screwed it up. Current population survey. How many people, retirement academics, were looking at that and said, oh my goodness, no one can retire. Federal Reserve is screwing it up. I just want to know who these people are in charge. Are they just say, hey, what if you have an IRA, 401k, Roth, or something like that, and you're not taking regular distributions? How come we're not showing that anywhere? Especially in the survey itself, it says the majority of people, the vast majority of people have these things. Why is that being shown in the retirement income? Love your thoughts. Smash. We'll see you. No, but I just want to revisit. If you have challenges to me, throw the data in there. I'd love to see the data so I can look at it and say, hey, maybe I'm missing something. So Tom, to his credit, this one time, did it. So God bless. We'll see you.